I think it's becoming more and more obvious with each passing year that Dragon Ball Super will not be making a return anytime soon. There's a lot of different claims and speculations online concerning why it has been essentially on hiatus for over 7 years. Volume 20 of Dragon Ball Super released March 3rd, 2023. This volume saw the ending to the Granolah arc and the introduction to a brand new one with the superhero material. However, since then, we've seen absolutely nothing new in the manga itself and the anime for that matter. Ever since the beginning to the new manga arc, Dragon Ball Daima has been released. The magical 20-episode series that was met with extremely strong praise and love throughout its run. It just goes to show that with the time and effort, Toei Animation can produce an absolutely beautiful series in the span of only 2 years. So then, why don't they do that with Super? Why has it been over 7 years without any new info on DBS Season 2? Why hasn't the manga started a new arc yet? We'll be answering those questions in today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what should be improved. Let's go. Dragon Ball Super Broly released December 14th, 2018. Reports say that the movie only had a production cost of $8.5 million. Keep in mind, most Dragon Ball Super episodes cost around $500,000 to make, with the labor equivalency of 6 weeks. Dragon Ball Super Broly began early production in late 2017, with Akira Toriyama completing the script and screenplay designs, as well as Toei Animation beginning storyboarding and planning. Just 1 year later, it was released to the Japanese public, later being dubbed by Funimation on January 16th, 2019. The movie grossed over $124 million worldwide, the highest revenue a Dragon Ball film has ever made. Even today, Dragon Ball Daima has made over $123 million off of fiscal revenue alone. This is more than what One Piece has made in the past 2 years. So obviously, Dragon Ball as a cash farm is very effective. It just begs the question, why hasn't Toei Animation began production on the adaptations for the Moro and Granolah arcs? For this, we have to go back to 2016 in Tokyo, where we can find the Shueisha headquarters. Shueisha is in charge of the manga production as well as the manga publishing of Dragon Ball Super. A special division inside the corporation called the Dragon Ball Room has been formed. Originally created by Akira Toriyama and one Akio Ioku, the division oversaw all of the manga promotions, assistance with the manga being produced and published, and altogether improve and optimize the ever-growing popularity of Dragon Ball. The goal of this division was to invite the series into a new generation of readers and fans all around the world. This was all said by Akira Toriyama himself, so it's clear that Akira Toriyama had no plans to conclude Dragon Ball anytime soon. He wanted it to outlive his very own ideas and visions. Ioku was Toriyama's longtime editor and trusted friend. He had worked on basically everything with Toriyama after OG Dragon Ball. He was basically the captain of the massive ship that was modern Dragon Ball. Fast forward to 2022, wanting to expand the series even further, Ioku proposed to the higher-ups at Shueisha to distribute the rights to the manga in order to shape the series into something even greater. Ioku was met with a harsh decline from the executives at Shueisha. Not much more was said about how or why Shueisha ended up declining Ioku, but before the proposal took place, many representatives of Shueisha were going out of their way to speak ill of Ioku, and speaking in a sort of predestined demeanor, almost as if they were planning to let him go beforehand. Ioku was trying to push for Dragon Ball shows and games, but Shueisha were simply mistreating the IP that was Dragon Ball. Then in late 2022, Ioku decided to greenlight the Sandland standalone movie, as well as a new series for Dragon Ball. Ioku went through with his plans without any approval from the executives at Shueisha, causing even more disputes among the company. The final nail on the coffin for Ioku's partnership with Shueisha was their adamant persuasion on Ioku to use AI in order to save production time and cut costs on certain projects. Ioku was strongly against this and refused to utilize it. Shueisha, in retaliation, assigned Ioku to a position that doesn't handle Dragon Ball properties, as well as temporarily dismantling the Dragon Ball Room. Akira Toriyama was very upset by this, because he knew more than anyone else Ioku had what it took to bring Dragon Ball into the future. On May 23rd, 2023, Akio Ioku fully said goodbye to Shueisha and formed his very own company with the help of Akira Toriyama called Capsule Corporation Tokyo. With the help of hundreds of former Shueisha staff and Akira Toriyama himself, Capsule Corp became the holder of all the rights to the games and anime. While the manga was still in the hands of Shueisha, however, Ioku promised to the fans in multiple Daizenshus that he has no plans to slow down. He will continue creating and expanding on Akira Toriyama's vision for the years to come. And while Shueisha is still holding on to the rights to the manga tighter than they ever have before, there is still hope knowing Akio Yoku is there for the world of Dragon Ball. On March 1st, 2024, the world said a sorrowful goodbye to the original creator of the manga, Akira Toriyama. His visions and willingness to dream sparked fires in countless souls across the world. One of those fires was one Toriyama himself passed on to one of his very own students, Toyotaro. Yes, that's his full name. I probably researched for hours to try and find anything about Toyotaro's life and family outside of the manga. There's literally nothing. So Toyotaro it is. Toyotaro is most well known for illustrating the Dragon Ball Super manga, and then eventually taking full creative control in the Granolah arc aside from some tweaks Toriyama made to help out. Just like how Toriyama trusted Ioku with bringing Dragon Ball into the future, he trusted Toyotaro to keep it alive today. And man, over these past few years, he has been serving some of the greatest Dragon Ball work we've seen in a while. But now, even the manga has gone on yet another hiatus. As of June 6, 2025, Toyotaro has announced in an interview that in the absence of Dragon Ball Super, he will be putting his focus towards another project. An original series completely created, directed, written, and illustrated by the man himself under Shueisha. Fans are theorizing that what Toyotaro meant was complete creative control over the DBS series, and that he'll be starting new arcs completely on his own accord, but that's just a loose theory. Why wouldn't he just announce the series would be continuing? With all the limited information we have so far, I have to conclude that Dragon Ball Super will go on an indefinite pause, if not end for good. In the interview, he talks to Kazuhiko Toshirama, a former editor of the Dragon Ball Z and Dr. Slump mangas, in a disclosed conversation. The only information we've been given is that Toyotaro has plans for his brand new original manga. Those who are attending the Yuzu Anime Expo in France will know more about it, and I'm certain we'll learn more about it in the future, but as of right now, it's usually nothing. I think it's safe to say we all took the monthly releases of Dragon Ball Super for granted. Sure, we were waiting almost 28 or more days to get about 50 pages worth of action and story, but now Dragon Ball fans are lucky to get anything these days. Does this make the series as a whole any worse? Absolutely not. Dragon Ball itself is timeless. No matter how old the series gets, it always finds a way to get back up and become popular once again. A lot of people dog on Super for its incoherent writing and strange use of character development, but the line that Vegeta says in the Tournament of Power has been etched in the minds of all modern Dragon Ball fans. We Saiyans have no limits. Dragon Ball has proven time and time again that it is not a series too old for its own good, and that it should just rest along with the other ones that followed way before. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods rose up to bring Dragon Ball back to the forefront after 12 long years, and before we knew it, it was back in full swing. But now, another 12 years later, we've been left with nothing. Another true drought that may take even longer than last time. I remember Dragon Ball being my first anime ever. I remember buying that awesome looking DVD of Super Saiyan Goku in Walmart, thinking that it was just another plain show like the ones Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon played. But it was something a lot more than that. It became my favorite show. And as Dragon Ball grew older over the years with Super, I grew up as well. I'm now going to college with that same love and adoration for the series, and the characters I grew to love too. But now, hope seems to be at an all-time low for the franchise. I know all it takes is some patience, but how much longer do we really have before Dragon Ball truly does run out? It hurts to even say things like this because I truly don't want to let the series go. I don't know if I can do that to begin with, but eventually I know I'll have to. Time moves faster than anybody wants it to. Eventually I'll have a job with a wife and kids to take care of. Eventually I'll have responsibilities and tighter schedules as I watch my years drift away like ripples in the water. Dragon Ball has taught me many things growing up, but one of the biggest is that you can always get what you want if you work hard enough. Goku wouldn't have what it takes to beat Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, and more if he hadn't trained for it. That's only one of the reasons why the series has carried such weight in my heart for so long. And even if the series is gone in today's world, it will never die in the hearts of all the Dragon Ball fans across the world. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a tough one to make, definitely. A lot of things to go over, you know. Now that I'm back in my routine, I'll definitely be uploading more. All we can do is hope, man. All we can do is hope that Dragon Ball does actually have a future. There had been leaks and such about a new Dragon Ball movie potentially. We're not too sure though. Dragon Ball without Akira Toriyama is something to really, think about. Will it work? Will it function properly? Will it succeed? Who knows? Akira Toriyama himself never wanted the series to die. I think it was very clear from everything that he said in the past. If anything, he would want it to keep on going and going until, I don't know. If there's one thing I wish in life, I want Dragon Ball to outlive me. It sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. But anyways, I've been, yapping for too long. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, join the Discord. I will see y'all later.